Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. If you're happy and you know it, wake your ass up. That's what you're going to do. It's time, you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Grand Rising people. Listen, we made it through another weekend. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, still sounding like Louise Jefferson, but ain't nothing wrong with Wheezy. George. Yep. That's what I get. I used to make fun of her all the time. What's wrong with her mouth? Her voice. Da-da-da. Now I have it. Oh, well, listen, I'm working with what God gives me to work with no matter what. I mean it. If my voice left completely, I promise you, I'd use chalkboard, learn sign language, something, dance it out. Like they do in the church, they be doing those dances. I would do that because I'm going to tell you what, there's nothing better. I don't think so anyway, than living and navigating within your divine purpose, getting your message, that reason you came to this world, into the world. In other words, quenching that thirst that our soul so very much desires. Can I get an amen? Good morning, everybody. Wow, big day today. Big day today. It's not only just Monday, it is MLK Day. Boy, what world would we be in if it hadn't been for him? Right? He had a dream. Do you? Do you have a dream? Boy, what an example. I want to just say this as we get started. We have a great guest today. Everything about her, what's not to love? She's even got love as a name, right? Victoria Love is here. She's a fellow Chicagoan. And wait till you hear about what she's doing to service and be of service to the world. So we're going to get into that. But back to this thing about Martin Luther King. Listen, I know you agree. No matter, and I remember when I was a little kid, back when we still had a black and white TV. Yep, I'm that old. I remember no matter where I'm at, and you hear the I Have a Dream speech playing in the background or in another room, you stop and you're just drawn to it and just riveted. I want you to understand, when Martin shared those words with us and so much else, he knew, he knew most likely this work would take a lot longer than he would have to stick around and watch it. That's why after he said the line about little boys and girls and little black boys and white girls, that whole thing, he said, but I may not get there with you. So just remember this every day, people, that we're not just manifesting for today, next week, or even next year. We're manifesting in most cases through divine purpose, messages that the world will find hundreds, perhaps even thousands of years from now. So take it seriously. Everything you mean will become meaningful. So don't forget that. So big weekend. We have a new segment that I'm starting today. I'm so excited to bring it to the show. Season 6, year number 6. I'm going to pop a little thing up in the corner. There it is. A healthy dose of vitamin D. And when I say vitamin D, I'm talking about D. Grant Smith. He came across this young man and he's a consummate storyteller. And I said, I need to work with you and I need the work that is within you. He poured into me, and today I'm going to allow him to pour into you. We got a 1-minute segment, brand new, here to help you start your Monday in a great way. Here he is, our very first segment, Vitamin D.
Here's a little wisdom for you to begin your week. The healthiest relationships begin at home. And by the way, home is not the 4 walls that you come home to, quote unquote, after a hard day's work. It's not the place that you wake up in the morning. It's not necessarily the place where you eat. It's not a place in a physical sense of you being somewhere. Home is you. Because you are the person that has been with you your entire life, and no matter where you go, there you are. Home is the place that you live. You live with you. Guess what happens when you take care of you as your own home, meaning your mind and your heart and your physical body and your spiritual essence? All of your relationships improve. They all grow and they all prosper. So if you want healthy relationships, take care of your home. Take care of you. That's my blessing for you today. Have a great one.
Thank you. There it was, the very first healthy dose of vitamin D. Thank you, D. Grant Smith. You can find him all over the internet. The link will be in the show notes. One thing D said in there, we can refer to him as D moving forward. He said spiritual essence. How beautiful is that? Spiritual essence. What's your spiritual essence? If you know what your spiritual essence is, drop it in the comments, won't you please? So without further ado, I'm going to get started because today is a big day. And our guest today knows a little something about dreams. She's had a few, and she's got a few more under her sleeve, I believe. Her name is Victoria Love, Love. None of that cutting it down and changing it to L-U-V. No, it's L-O-V-E. And I don't think it's a stage name. I think it's her real name. I knew a girl once. I was trying to think of her first name. I think it was Patricia Love, Buchanan, Michigan. And boy, could she sing. I did something on one of her projects. I wonder where she is. I'm gonna have to find her. That's right around the corner, really, hour or two away. But anyway, Victoria Love is a therapeutic art life coach. Now, she believes in the healing powers of art. Amen. And she's ultra passionate about educating others in ways one can discover hidden mysteries within themselves. Okay, teaching others how to overturn darkness, convert it, if you will, into light by mastering the art of steady focus and intense intentionality. Thought I was gonna mess that up, didn't y'all? Intense intentionality. I ain't got no problem with it. Where's my? That's the bell of purpose. It means when it rings, some truth is out there. So, Miss Love's, I would say her aim is to serve as a compass to the path of full enlightenment. I want some, don't you? I know you do. I know you do. That's why together right now, in this very moment, share this broadcast out. You're going to be blessed in the manner in which you bless others. You're going to show that you need to be served by the way you serve others. Share this out right now. Okay? Don't keep all this ooey chewy goodness to yourself. Spread it out. Because here she comes. Victoria Love, y'all. Put your hearts on the screen. Hello, Victoria Love.
Hello, Dr. Lauren Michaels.
How are you?
I'm doing great, doing really great.
You look great. You look like a model.
You think so? Thank you. It's really early this morning. Thank you
Girl.
so much.
Boy, it's a good thing you're not in LA because it'd be 6 o'clock for you. Listen, I'm so excited you're here. We crossed paths. If I'm getting this right, correct me if I'm not. You saw one of the commercials for Trajectory TV where we were saying global game changers. I believe you said that was a line that kind of resonated with you. And so you reached in, and boy, when I opened up that box, I was like, what in the world? Look at this. And here we are. So listen, here's what I do. Give the guest a minute to just kind of connect with the audience on a personal level. So I'm going to step out for a second and pop back in when I'm ready to get started. But just take this opportunity, fill in between the lines. Maybe I left something out. Maybe I misspoke. Or there's something else you want to bless them with to start today. So I'm going to step out. It's all you. Take it away.
Hello, guys. I am Victoria Love, and I am a therapeutic life coach. I believe in the healing powers of art. I'm very passionate about art. I want to inspire others to prioritize their mental well-being and spiritual well-being by being involved in art, being involved in the art, the artists in them, the art within their community, and just be more aware of all that art has to offer. I want to redefine the culture of art. Art is a very spiritual practice. It is not just a mere thing of doing, to be creative, to be fun, but it is a spiritual practice.
Well, definitely I agree with that. And you gave us a whole bunch to start with. So here's what I'd like to do if you're okay with it. Origin story. And then after we get done with the origin story, I'm going to ask you your favorite thing about Martin Luther King. And if you remember what it made you feel like when you were little, Victoria, and you were dreaming of the things you live today. How did the work of Martin Luther King and all the people that made Martin Luther King's dream what it is today, how it has affected you? Because I know you have a child. And what are your hopes? So get that in there, think about it. But I'm gonna ask you to start by telling us a little bit about your origin story, your backstory when you were just a little girl. Did you grow up here in Chicago, or did it start somewhere else in the country or world?
Oh, I grew right here in Chicago.
Okay, what was that like?
It was If my memory serves me well.
Girl, you're so young, it better. You're too young to be forgetting.
Well, if my memory serves me well, I have a family of seven. My family adopted my cousin, so I come from a big family,
Okay, great.
um, and a big family here in Chicago.
What was
Um,
well, a lot of let's talk about that for a second. Because I do a lot of work with young people through the Power Week Symposium, and we do it here in
mhm,
Chicago every other year, and then somewhere else in the world in between. But there's a lot of challenges growing up in a major city. You know, a lot of distractions, a lot of temptations. What did you in your household? Were there a lot of rules? How did what was put in place? What was it like? What did you grow up seeing that made you look at what you do today and say, you know what, I know I can help heal this world? What were
mhm.
you watching? What resonated with that little Victoria? That's all I'm trying to find out.
Okay. Well, my stepfather, he was a very spiritual, cultural inclined. He was very in touch with his Afrocentric roots.
Mm,
So we were very involved in African culture. We watched African movies. We wasn't brought up. Well, the time that he lived with us, we were in the aspect of him that I gravitated to the most was being very cultural and diverse. So we wasn't really
uh-huh.
like American. We couldn't listen to like a lot of American music and songs. We didn't, my family, in my early stages, up until about 8, we were very cultural and no worldly. They didn't want us to be worldly in the
So
world.
not religious as much as cultural. Or was there a little
Well, it was a between both. Like my stepfather was cultural, and then my mother was religion because
okay.
she was in the church. They
Okay,
both were in
cool.
the church.
Okay. There it is.
Mhm.
There it is. So, do you remember where you were, Victoria? This could be a tough one, but maybe not. Do you remember where you were in your journey when art became more than just a three-letter word to you?
Well, my mother's is an art collector, and my father stepfather is an artist, and my grandfather is an artist.
Oh,
So,
you came by it honest then.
yeah,
So you were
I
indoctrinated. You were just baptized in it from the get-go.
right, right. But my personal journey as an artist started in 2000. Well, in 2000 as a painter, um, probably 2015.
So is it safe to say that that's your primary means of expression as far as feelings and vision? Do you do it through your art, or do you have other things like poetry or writing or
Writing.
I had a
A
feeling.
lot of my theological work is in writing. I love to write. I love to write and just explore philosophies and theories and challenge my perspective on life. I love writing. Yeah, writing, and I love photography.
Cool.
I once did modeling early on in life, but I love the art of expression through modeling. I'm really
All of
passionate
it.
about that.
Yeah. You're a natural storyteller.
Mhm.
You're a natural
Yes.
storyteller, period. And that's great. So how do you feel about um in our culture? How important is it? Because I think personally I've seen it in two families of mine, my adoptive and my biological,
Mhm.
that when the patriarch and the matriarch transitions, a lot of our traditions, recipes, stories. I remember when I was little, we used to have my grandmother had a big family Bible. I don't
Mhm.
know if you remember those, but everything was written in there. There were locks of hair, which I thought was gross, but she had them, whose it was, and stories of when people migrated or babies were born or people
Mhm.
passed on or got married, where, and all of that. And you don't see that. A lot of our stories have fallen by the wayside in my families. A lot of the recipes that I remember loving so much. Uh, how do you feel about that? And do you have anything within your message that helps people understand the importance of protecting your historical legacy, your family's legacy? I know that's a tough one.
I wish I wish I could tell you.
Have you thought about that? I mean, you have your own child now.
I have my own children, yes.
Yeah, children. Okay.
Starting our own tradition. I have taken a personal choice to start my own journey, start life over, and everything I've ever was taught, just to start all over. So and where I'm at in my life, I'm just like on a clean slate. A lot of the propaganda of the community, I'm just like, I have to figure what unique path me and my children are going to take. So, yeah, it's just really about a lot of that stuff that I was taught. A lot of people, they didn't live by that stuff, and
Yeah.
it didn't work because everybody isn't loving and nurturing and together. So a lot of what we hold to it's not really
It's
working.
surface. I
Yeah.
get it. It is. Because the minute, and that's exactly what I was alluding to. Because when both of my mothers, number one and number two, and there were 22, but those two primary ones transitioned, it was like, I'm not excluding myself. I probably was guilty of it too. Just
Mhm.
don't own it yet or understand it yet. But it was like they peeled off masks, and it was all a
Right.
big, the things everyone said, all them dinners, and it's
Right.
a shame. So,
Right.
okay.
Right.
So
Right.
healing, art is about healing. That's
That's what
kind of,
I love. I love
yes.
that type.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I used to be really envious, Victoria. I really
Mhm.
did. When I would visit an art gallery, I felt like I didn't know enough to be there. Like, because people would be looking, you could just tell that they were like being baptized inside of some secret experience because they stand back and you see them literally, I mean, for a long time sometimes, or sit on those benches and just let a piece speak to them. And I was
Right.
like, I want that. How come? But I have found over the years that that is available to me. I
Mhm.
just didn't I just didn't know or honor myself enough to let it be. Because when I look at art now, I'm co-authoring an experience. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to interpret. I am, but I'm not, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
I just take it and I try to find things that are common ground. Tell us about your art and what you do with art. And we're going to start easing down the road. And then I want to show the clip and tie it in with today's holiday. But on the screen right now, we see you do therapeutic art, life coaching,
Right.
learn, heal, grow, and talk about that.
Well, I want to piggyback off what you said, the
Okay.
people that are just like all into art. Are you a very in-depth person? Like, are you the type of person that really loves and yearn to travel within? How often are you traveling within?
Me, person, is that you're really
Yeah.
asking? I love this question, and I'll tell you because I have ADHD, which is my superpower. I travel within hundreds of times a day.
Okay.
Hundreds of times a day. I'm not kidding. And I'm not just saying that to make it sound like I got it. Thought you were going to stump
Mhm.
me. No, I'm
Mhm.
telling
Mhm.
you, I really do. Sometimes I question if it is too much because I'm like,
Okay.
shouldn't I be focusing on one thing? But I I journey through imagery. Everything I
Okay.
do is because I'm a storyteller just like you. And
Mhm.
I know that story is driven through image. If you want people to follow the story, you got to show them something. They
Mhm.
but not so much that it doesn't allow them to interpret it and let it resonate and create the picture they need in order
Mhm.
to quench their thirst in the
Right.
moment. So
Mhm.
I'm learning how to be vulnerable more
Right.
so that I can
Mhm.
properly and effectively co-author, but I'm also learning how to keep my hands off and not be so controlling with my dreams as far
Right.
as offering them what they should look like when you get them. You
Mhm.
see what I'm saying? And
Right.
I never considered the importance of that until I hit my 60s last year. So I know,
Wow.
well, I was, I didn't really start. I didn't wake up. Let's put it that way. You
Hmm.
probably know this with the work you do. I'm gonna keep it real. I mean, I was doing things, checking them off, but I didn't really start waking up to the true possibilities in my life, seen and unseen, until I approached my 50s. That was the demarcation point because suddenly I was like, man, I'm 50. I most likely have more life behind me than I have in front of me. And it changed everything. The narrative began to change. So let's talk about how how does the person know if therapeutic art can help them heal and grow? If they say, well, I'm not really into the arts, that's not me. I'm more into sports or hunting or heavy metal music or whatever. Some of us don't think we're smart enough,
Right.
rich enough, or whatever. Because art is up
Mhm.
there, art gallery is up there with theaters and ballet and
Mhm.
crystal at a five-star place. A lot of us think it's that, especially a lot of us from the African American and other underserviced cultures, places that weren't traditionally we weren't given access to.
Mhm.
See, you grew up in a home with an art collector and an
Mhm.
artist. So it was indoctrinated into you, but not the case with so many others. Talk about how you help change that even within our culture.
Well, I would say that people need to explore other cultures more. America's culture is it is like the pinnacle of success in the world. But there's a lot of cultures that use art as like everyday lifestyle. Like that's how they get through their life. Like they're especially in different African, Indian, Native American cultures. Art is, I mean, whether you're making a quilt, whether you're
Mm.
creating jewelry, it's just a way of life, you know?
Even coffee now.
Exactly.
The baristas make all those like leaves and their
Hmm.
hearts and the art is really, I believe, tell me what you think. I
Hmm.
believe art is within everything that is divine.
Exactly.
And if you
It's a
don't,
spirit.
go ahead,
Hmm.
go ahead.
No, I just wanted to conclude like it we put art somewhere up high when it belongs down low. It keeps us grounded. It keeps us humble, and it's just a way of life for most people. It's nothing splendid about what you create. You know, what you create is nothing spectacular. It's just an expression of who you are. And I don't know why we create these bariums and,
Yeah.
who's
Well,
more of an artist than not,
then not. And it's, I believe it's just like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder, you
Exactly.
see. So let's talk about your work. Pe Okay, there we go. To grow and
Mhm.
heal, that's Comcast. I told you they own one. Um,
Mhm.
how does that process work? Someone gives you a call because we're going to give people your information. As a matter of fact, they already have it. It's in the comments, and we're going to put it on the screen later. But it's in your
Right.
comments, Miss Love's website. So talk about the work. How does how does the process take place?
Okay, so I have a 12-month program that I developed.
Okay.
And right now, no one can enroll because I'm finishing and developing a theory. But now you can just come and get your one-time only workshops. And what the theory is basically explaining is we want to get people to express, and I mean authentically, organically express. And what I've studied in all of my years of going down this path is that some things are hidden, and we want to discover what is hidden. We don't want to deal with our surface emotions, but we want to deal with our emotions as a whole. So you may say, well, I'm dealing with anger. And the variants of anger that cultivate anger is coming from like 19 different sources. You're not just angry in one area, you're angry in like 19 other different areas of your life. So we try to unravel the blockchain of anger. It
Okay.
takes a long time. It's one thing about healing. It's not a 12-week process. It's not a 6 months process. It is adapting a new perspective, a new commitment, and a new lifestyle to wellness.
Oh,
Um,
can I butt in? Because
mhm,
now I'm getting selfish. Because
okay.
I'm being vulnerable and transparent. I promise you, this morning, I was in the driveway of my house after coming from the health club. And, I do this thing every day where I literally, because we're the only creatures that can speak in this world, I
Mhm,
give permission to all those beings and sources and all that were designed to aid me in getting out of my own way and being my best version. And I actually asked this morning, I said, today, I've been dealing with this thing of anger, just like you're talking about, forever. And I thought I had gotten to a point where I had more control of it than it had over me based on prior experiences. Um, because it always found its way in to destroy impactful intersections of my journey where everything along that block was about that corner. And
mhm,
I do all the slabs of the sidewalk, and then I get to that corner and I blow up the intersection through anger.
mhm,
And it and I'm at the point, because as you awaken and as you evolve, there's a fine line between anger and being fiercely passionate, fiercely protective, where you have to push back because there are so many things in this world that do not serve us and their intentions are not honorable.
mhm,
But I always feel like I'm being stalked after something comes up and I'm like, was that fiercely protecting or did I lose it again? Did I did I just mess up an opportunity for those that I serve because of my own selfishness or not? So I said all that to say this. Tell me what that door looks like in your opinion. I hope this isn't too
mhm.
much of a challenging question, but I really want to know because I want to do better. I want
Okay.
I want an E and an R so I can take what's great to greater. And I don't like that stalking feeling. I don't like
Right.
being doubtful. Doubt leads to fear, and fear leads to depression.
Mhm.
Doubt leads to fear. Doubt leads to worry. Worry leads to fear. Fear leads to depression. Depression leads to all kinds of horrible things. So tell me, for a person just like me, talk to me.
Mhm.
What would you say to somebody like me? Like, is it possible that art could help me remove the collar of anger?
Of course, yeah. Well, I'm just examining your way of thinking, and it's very concrete thinking. And in in my theory, we talk about the difference between concrete reality and abstract reality. There's a lot of things in your abstract reality that you're not aware of. And you want to explore, you want to learn what is in my abstract reality, because when you gain that knowledge, it's going to bring understanding, and that understanding is going to be a relief. So in your abstract reality, you don't know what's all taking place in your life. You are a spiritual expression here on this earth, and you have no clue as to all of what makes up you. You don't know what all makes up you, what all cultivate you. So you want to learn those things. You want to identify what is all of the things that makes up me. And you do that by traveling within. And you want to travel past your subconscious mind. You want to, because a lot of us are, no, we want to travel past our conscious mind.
Yeah.
A lot of us is trapped in our conscious way of thinking. We're just trapped in that constant state of questioning and questioning. But you want to go further deep within to that subconscious um, mind and you want to explore. It's all about learning and exploring. And that's just where I would start as a doorway to,
Yeah, makes
you want
perfect
to know
sense.
what are those hidden things, you know? You don't know what happened to you when you was 1, 2, 3, 4, and you had emotions that you didn't properly express. So you
Right,
internalize them,
right.
you know? So with that, you just build this little monster, this anger monster. You just built him all up. And you have to understand, who is that anger monster? What all happened to that anger monster?
Right.
You know, you want to learn more about that aspect of yourself. What is that? And understand that.
Absolutely. Listen, we got a lot more to cover, a lot of
Mhm.
ground as we make our way around this hour. When we return from this brief break, I wanted to let you have this before we go so you can start thinking about it. Um, how do you feel? I believe one of the things that I'm seeking is that I believe that I can learn how to view my own journey within purpose as a mural,
Mhm.
as a work of art in progress. I
Mhm.
believe that one day, before I leave or as I leave this journey, I will turn and I'll look at a mural that I've created from all my experiences and relationships. And if I don't know what this journey means as far as it being a piece of art, before I'm looking at it as a piece of art, I just have an innate feeling I just might miss something. And I don't want to miss 1 second of this journey or
Mhm.
my purpose. So we'll get into that and more when we return.
Mhm.
Great time to share out the broadcast. Don't go away. This world is
Mhm.
changing more and more every day, and we've decided to change right along with it. My name is Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the president of Trajectory TV Network. At Trajectory, our vision is to provide a creative platform for top content creators and storytellers from around the globe. We're also dedicated to providing this world with content that is healing, educational, empowering, exciting, and above all else, entertaining and transparent. So right now, I invite all of you who believe yourselves to be global game changers to use the link found here and simply take a chance. Schedule a virtual chat where you'll have the opportunity to share your vision for your very own global television show with me, the network president. So use that link, and together, let's begin changing and healing this world, one story at a time. And remember, whether you have years of experience in front of the camera or zero experience, it doesn't matter. What matters the most is your desire to share great content through television and a willingness to share it with passion and with purpose. You might ask, how do I know if I've fallen in love with my purpose and my purpose has fallen in love with me? It's easy when you've lost your voice because you just can't stop talking about it. I'll see you soon.
On July 4th, 1962, I found myself in the lost and found of mankind. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that it wants to be there. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that the person who lost it doesn't care for that lost item.
You are writing moments that people will learn from, grow from, and heal through for thousands of years. Together, we are co-authoring a unique moment in time. That DNA, those fingerprints, they're going to be gone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But it is your story that they will tell for thousands of years. But only if you leave it. Things that do not serve you must go. The longer you wait, the more time you give them to trick you into serving them. 22 homes in foster care, everything I wore as a scar, as a shame, things that started like Velcro on my spirit. After just a few months, then years, then decades, I had believed myself into believing that they were indelible tattoos. Sometimes We have to be broken down to appreciate the view once we start getting up. I want you to leave this place and know that you have been changed. Why? How do I know it's true? Because each of you has just changed.
Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. Before we get the incredible, amazing Victoria Love back in, I wanted to let you know about something that I brought into my life a few years back, and they became a sponsor. V8. I got rid of the Diet Coke monster off my back, thank goodness, and replaced it with V8. A great choice for a lot of great reasons. Number one, 60 calories in every can. There are 2.5 full vegetables servings in every single one of these babies. And hey, they're easy to find and not expensive. Trust me, serve yourself by serving yourself some of this. I'm going to say, instead of, if you got a monster drink or something that isn't serving, you get rid of it. And I just love it. I really do. So, and was drinking it long before they became a sponsor. So try it. You'll find it in the juice aisle at your local grocer. Mine at the Jewel in my neighborhood. It's right next to the Kool-Aid juice boxes. Go figure. Hello. Welcome back, Victoria. So, interesting in that clip, one of my sizzle reels, when I heard the line, which I've said many times, about the indelible tattoos, scars, things like that. Let's talk about the art that until we fully understand, like you said before we went to break, those things we don't know can have an effect on what we see as the piece we're drawing or sketching, as far as our own. And I tied that in when I heard that in a way I never had before. So talk about that. How we are in control of what is on the palette.
Okay, so that's where painting comes in at. I've developed this method. It's called the PTH method, and the method is basically it's a process of the life coach. I'm running a non-medical clinical trial to gain more information on my theory on this particular method. So it's fairly new, but the method basically is questions that will be well, there will be music, soft music, and there will be 2 questions on the piece of paper. And from the 2 questions, the client will be asked to answer those. They don't have to verbally tell me or anything like that. They're just writing it. And then after they get done with their questions, they go into painting for about 30 minutes. And then after they go into painting, they have a paper that will allow them to interpret their art. So you're journaling with these questions. They're called conscious questions. And then you go into painting, and then you interpret your art. And we're doing that because we want you to learn from your art. What is your art saying? What mystery is being revealed in your art about you?
Love
So
it.
it's all learning. Yeah.
That is right on point, Victoria, seriously, because one of the things I look for in my own journey as a litmus test, if you will, of working within purpose is that I have found that the major life-changing light bulb moments for me were all found within things that had a nesting effect. In other words, like when you laid it all out, one thing leads to the next thing, leads to the next thing, which all ties into the promise that when we seek, we will find.
Exactly.
And therein is the place where people say stuck. It's not that they're stuck. You're just not moving. You're not seeking.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And here, let's talk about this, because I was thinking, if I heard this, if I was watching this show, somebody else was interviewing you, and I know the need, it would be just like it was when I said it at the top about myself. I would be thinking, I can't even draw stick figures. This probably would not work for me because I'm not a natural artist. How could it be? What am I going to draw? Oh my God. Is
Well,
that
you
true or
wouldn't
not?
know. You wouldn't know what your subconscious is going to express. You're not going to conscious from those questions.
Yeah.
They're very intentional. Those questions, you're not going to paint from a place of just coming in and sitting down. You're
Right.
going to paint from those questions of intentionality. We want to position your mind like here to paint. You're not just going to, we're in a way kind of adjusting the mind to express through here, if that makes sense.
It
Like,
does, because
mhm.
as you're describing it, it reminds me of when I was a kid in the system, and every now and then they would take me to a therapist, and they would have me, like, especially if it's sexual abuse, because my caseworker could always tell, and we had a secret language where she would say, "Walk me to my car every week, and if something was wrong in the house, squeeze her hand twice, and just keep it moving. Don't worry, I'll be back to get you before the sun goes down." And that happened
Mhm.
on many occasions. And so I remember they used to have me draw things, and I would draw things that they would know what it meant, even though I didn't as it came out, but then they could explain it to me. Is it somewhat that same process?
You can't, they can't explain that to you.
See,
You would
right,
have to explain. Well, it's a spiritual practice, and it's off what you see, that's what's inside, if
right.
that makes sense.
It does. So as
Like,
an
you're
adult,
going to see something that resonate with something inside of you. They're not going to see it the way you see it. You know how some people see art
yeah,
and you'd be like, oh, I see this. Well, that has something in relation to your life, because I don't see that. I see this
yeah.
because the way
This
I
is
see
the
it has
reality,
something
right.
resonated with my life, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. So it's really not like dreams, and even in the church, people go and there are people who interpret dream. Oh, that meant this and that meant that. And that's kind of what you were saying about when I was a kid, and they would say, well, this means that. That's
Right.
different.
Hmm.
Only so we're our own interpreters.
You're your own interpreter.
Mm,
Only you would be able to, because your mind is going to, it has already cultivate a perspective based on your experiences.
okay.
See, you get what I'm saying?
I do.
Like, we don't have the same eyesight. My vision is cultivated around, my perception and vision is cultivated around my experiences,
Right.
if that makes sense.
It does make sense. Now,
Mhm.
let's talk about this piece. Let's pivot here for a second. I get the feeling, because I feel hope within this, that's why it's of service,
Mhm.
that even like when I started NLP and I would get put under, and she told me at first I was going to have dreams that were purging. Stuff had to come out that wasn't
Mhm.
serving me. It would come out, and it would seem like a nightmare. It might be scary, but hold on, be encouraged, because right around
Mhm.
the corner, you're going to start having cognitive dreams, light bulb moments. And she was completely right. Completely right. I got past something in order to find something better. So what I'm getting at is it could start where I draw things that might disturb me a little bit or whatever. Because see, everyone, I know this. It doesn't mean that everything you draw or through this art is going to be something. What in the world is that? You can also find beauty or find your way to the beauty, because usually
Mhm.
it's a wall standing in front of a window. Things
Right.
that do not serve us are like walls standing in front of our windows.
Mhm.
And that's the
Right.
purpose of the seeking, is to get not around the wall, not over it, not under it, but to get through it so that we can see why it had to be. Everything is
Mhm.
purposeful, everything. So, what would you suggest people do uh, to challenge themselves to just see if art therapy would be a positive impact or having a positive impact on their journey?
I'll say just give it a try. It's non-clinical and it's non-medical. It is, and I feel like sometimes I get in the way
Yes,
because all of that information is very limited. All of the information that they have, they're very limited in knowledge. This process is between you and God. This isn't about This isn't about what research say. This is about
Yes.
your Father, your God. If you believe in God, this is a Christian-based organization. So we believe in God, and we believe
Okay.
that.
Say it then.
Right.
Amen.
Oh, let me say, this is a Christian organization. So we believe in the healing powers of God, and we're just trying to cultivate a lifestyle to help us to get back to Him.
Yes.
Well, so we're trying to, number one, we're trying to figure out how do we get back? This is the number one thing I want to say. What laws in our lives are being broken? Because those laws being broken is really what's separating us from God. We have to identify what laws are we breaking so that we can get back in that place of, like, that Garden of Eden. And if we're not getting back in that Garden of Eden because of the laws we're breaking, then this is about what this path is about. It's not about all of the clinical and medical understanding. This is about, God, I need to be in your presence. When in His presence, there's no anger, there's no fear, there's no insecurity, there's no anxiety. And He's going to personally walk you through the process of coming back to Him. If you really put Him as the pinnacle importance in your life, not your career, not your family, not your status, but if you say, you know what, this is not working. None of this that I'm doing is working. I have to go back to see, how do I get back into that place of soundness and wholeness and desiring nothing?
So great point, because that's great way for us to round out. We got 4 minutes left. Because what you're describing when I translate what you're saying and bring it through my filter and lens into my sacred space, it takes me back to the place where I was taught the art. I use that, the art of remembering, not like, oh yeah, remember when we went to the movies? No, but like you said, those things I don't know, remembering me back to the original me. You see what I'm saying? Remembering me back to that intersection.
Well, you know what? It even go as deeper as that. I mean, some of our conceptions, that's why those laws are important, because to be conceived through man and woman and through marriage, that was the law. That's the natural law. Some of us are not conceived like that. So we already have broken the law just by birth. So we have to, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
We already coming in the world disformed and out of whack. Your mother could have been a prostitute, or you could have been in a conception where your mother and your father had a threesome, so your very conception is out of whack. Your seeds, you're genetically, you came in breaking the law. You are unlawful. So, and I hate to say it like that, but
aren't you innocent of it?
Yeah, that's why His grace and His love and that blood was shed, because He said, in spite of all of that, you still can have eternal life. And I still died for you. In spite of you being in this realm and coming in the way you came in, there is still a covenant that grants you a life that is promising and full of happiness and joy.
That's exactly right. And that is promised through 4 words. Come as you are. Come as you are. Because that's what I love about what is greater than myself. It has always and continues to always meet me wherever I am.
But the process of coming as you are, but not staying as you are. You don't want to stay in that anger.
Coming as you are.
Oh, yeah,
starting place.
Yes,
because a lot of people think they got to wait. I'm not good enough.
Wait,
no. It's too early. I'm too much of a sinner. All of that. That's what wait a minute. You got me in here on the religion thing real quick.
Wait,
I'm
no,
gonna say this. I'm gonna say this.
God does not have to intimidate or scare us
Right.
into what is our birthright.
Right.
Does not.
Right.
So I say that because a lot of organized religion and a lot of us who have come to waking up started there. So how bad
Right.
could it be? Could it be it led us to who we are? So it had to be. But
Right.
if it is not of love, I don't care where the preach
Exactly.
is. When people start judging, they already told us, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. See, our dominion as creatures that speak is not in effect over other creatures that speak. It is over everything that is here to serve us, whether you're a creationist or the other.
Right.
Whether your
And he
story
says,
started for you as once upon a time or in the beginning.
right. And he said through love and kindness has I drawn them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's very gentle and he's very loving. And his ultimate goal is for us to be well. He wants us to be healthy and well, and he wants us to commit to that journey of being healthy and well. And whatever he said to let go, let it go. If he said, let it go. Because he knows that ultimately this is where your anger is at. You have to not have that attachment and you have to let it go and keep following me because I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you everlasting life. I'm going to give you eternal life. But you have to be willing to commit. You have to be willing to listen to his commands. Listen to what I tell you to. If I say go down that block and turn, go over there, do what I told you to do because ultimately I love you and I know what's best for you.
That's right. As we get, unfortunately, we're out of time, but there is still time for you to head over to victorialoveartlife.com. You'll find it at the top of the feed in your comment section. Here it is scrolling along. And in case you got bad eyes like me, there it is. Blown up. victorialoveartlife.com. It's a wonderful thing you're doing. Please keep doing it. Come back again. Keep us.
Thank you so much, Mr. You are wonderful. I was so nervous. I'm like, girl, but you're just so organic and you really helped relax me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you poured into us today in a beautiful, beautiful way. Beautiful, beautiful way. What a way to start the week off, start the day off, start the next moment off through love. Victoria Love. Thank you again. And listen, everybody. I want you to understand this. We're going to have illuminated conversations. Doesn't mean you have to do one thing this way or that way. All we want you to do is do the thing that is the right way for you. Remember, when you look at any opportunity, any challenge, any experience, look at it from top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner. Because in there, you're going to see all kinds of question marks. Don't be afraid of them. If you don't see question marks, it means that God isn't there. Look at Comcast tried to cut me off. Get out there today and be the best version of yourself. I'm Lauren Michael Harris. I'll see you here tomorrow. Scott and Nancy Kiesling, adventure therapists, they're back and they've got something they want you to know about. Victoria, thank you. Call me and let me know how I can help.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Y'all get out of here. I love you and ain't a darn thing you can do about it. Right. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.